If you truly want to know whether he's thinking about you, not through words, not through messages or signs on a screen, but through something you can feel directly in your body, then this practice will change the way you understand connection. You don't need external confirmation. You don't need to check if he viewed your story or reread your last message. All you need is one quiet minute, and all you need is yourself. Carl Jung taught that a thought fused with genuine emotion does not remain confined to the personal mind. It moves. It enters the unconscious field we all share. When emotion is intense and coherent, it can touch another person's unconscious even across distance. This is not fantasy. It is how the psyche communicates beneath language. When done correctly, the other person's body reacts even if the conscious mind has no explanation. And you feel that reaction first. This is not suggestion. It is connection. When you understand this, something profound shifts. You no longer chase attention. You no longer seek proof. You learn how to guide your inner state so that connection arises naturally. In this video, I'll guide you step by step through a precise 33-second practice. You'll learn how to synchronize your inner state with his, how to activate an emotional image that enters the unconscious, and how to seal that state with a physical gesture your body will remember. A gesture you can return to whenever you need to reconnect. He doesn't need to believe in any of this. He only needs to be human. Stay with me, because later I'll explain the most common mistake that blocks this process in nearly every case. Many people try to think someone into connection. They visualize, they meditate, they repeat affirmations, and nothing happens. No message, no sign, just silence. Eventually they ask, "What am I doing wrong?" The truth is uncomfortable but simple. Most people do everything right, except for one thing. They are in the wrong emotional state when they do it. That emotional state is the invisible block. Connection does not respond to effort. It responds to inner position, to where you are operating from emotionally. If you think of him from fear, lack, or longing, if your inner posture is "I hope, I need, I'm waiting," your energy does not transmit desire. It transmits absence. And the unconscious always responds to what is present, not to what is wished for. When your inner state says, "I don't have this," the field echoes back exactly that. This is why so many techniques fail. Anxiety, doubt, and need distort the signal before it ever leaves you. Jung understood this deeply. The unconscious does not respond to words. It responds to symbolic feeling states. And the other person feels that state, even if they cannot name it. The practice you're learning here is different. It does not come from lack. It comes from presence. It does not ask for signs. It generates resonance. And today, you'll learn how to activate it directly through your body. Jung called this shared layer of reality the collective unconscious, a level of the psyche that exists beyond time and space where human experience is interconnected. When you think of someone with focused emotion, you are not merely imagining. You are activating a real signal within this field. The body understands this before the intellect does. Modern science mirrors this insight. Every emotional state produces measurable changes in the nervous system. The heart, the brain, and the body emit electromagnetic patterns that interact with the environment. When thought and emotion align, those patterns become coherent, strong, directed. As Neville Goddard said, "You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. And what you are is revealed by what your body accepts as real before evidence appears." This is why the body is the key. Thinking alone is not enough. The body must agree. When you truly feel that he is thinking of you, your entire field shifts. Your nervous system settles into certainty. And that shift creates a subtle resonance, a psychological echo the other person may experience as a sudden thought, a memory, a mood change, or a feeling that seems to come from nowhere. You don't need magic, you need coherence. Thought, emotion, and body aligned. That is the psychological and energetic foundation of everything that follows. Before the actual exercise begins, you must prepare your inner channel, because a scattered or agitated field cannot transmit clearly. Clarity begins inside. Find a moment where you can be alone for a few minutes. You don't need silence or ritual. Just enough space to feel yourself. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Don't control it. Observe it. Even a few seconds create separation from mental noise. Let your thoughts pass like clouds. Don't fight them. Presence grows through allowance. Now bring your attention to your heart. Place one hand at the center of your chest. Breathe into that space. Imagine each breath moving directly through your heart. This is your emotional center, your natural amplifier. Every authentic desire begins here. Finally, choose a simple physical gesture. Touching your chest, joining your hands, gently brushing your forehead. This gesture will become your anchor. Each time you use it, your body will remember the state you're about to activate. When thought, heart, and body align, coherence is born. And from coherence, the signal emerges. Now that your inner channel is open and coherent, it's time to activate the signal itself. This is the core of the practice. It lasts only 33 seconds, but its effects can unfold for hours, sometimes even days. The duration is short by design. The unconscious responds to precision, not force. The only requirement here is presence. No expectations, no urgency. Just you, your body, and a clear inner state. This practice unfolds in 3 phases. Phase 1, the moment of contact. Close your eyes gently. Bring to mind a simple, ordinary scene from his life. Not something dramatic or emotional, something neutral and real. He might be sitting with a cup of coffee, walking, working, driving. Then, without effort, imagine a brief interruption in that moment. For no logical reason, an image of you appears in his mind. Not a fantasy, just a detail. Your voice, your expression, a memory. Something small but alive. You are not forcing him to think of you. You are allowing the image to arise naturally, the way thoughts actually appear. And in that moment, imagine him pausing slightly. Not analyzing. Just feeling something shift. A subtle interruption in his inner flow. Now activate the physical gesture you chose earlier. Touch your heart. Join your hands. Brush your forehead. Do it slowly and deliberately, as if this gesture were the switch that turns the signal on. And as you do it, stop imagining and begin feeling. Feel your breath change. Feel warmth or heaviness in your chest. Feel the quiet certainty in your body that says, "This moment is real." Phase 2, elevated emotion. Now link that scene to an emotional state that is strong but clean. Not longing, not excitement. Choose something grounded: gratitude, calm confidence, quiet joy. This is crucial. You are not asking for anything. You are acknowledging something already in motion. Silently say to yourself, "I am present in his thoughts. Not because I need it, but because I feel it. I don't pursue, I radiate. I don't wait, I receive." These words are not affirmations meant to convince the mind. They are cues for the body. Let your nervous system settle into the feeling of already being connected. The unconscious responds to this state instantly. When your body believes, your field changes. And when your field changes, reality begins to reorganize around it. This is what Jung meant when he spoke of psychic reality. What is experienced inwardly with coherence carries weight outwardly, even before external confirmation exists. Phase 3, energetic closure. Now gently release the image. Don't cut it off. Let it dissolve naturally, like mist evaporating in sunlight. Take one slow, deep breath. As you exhale, release the physical gesture. Internally say, "Let this signal go where it is ready to be received. I am open, not attached." Open your eyes slowly. Breathe. The transmission is complete. You've just engaged in a form of unconscious communication that does not rely on words or behavior. It operates through symbolic feeling, which the psyche understands far more deeply than logic. But now comes the most delicate phase, allowing it to work. This is where most people interfere without realizing it. Immediately after the exercise, the mind wants proof. It wants confirmation. It wants to check, analyze, or talk about it. Resist that impulse. The first rule after transmission is silence, inner and outer. Don't explain it to anyone. Don't replay it mentally to see if it worked. Don't watch for signs. Silence is not passivity. It is trust. Just as you wouldn't dig up a seed every hour to see if it's growing, you don't disturb a signal that has already been sent. Silence tells the unconscious that you are secure, that you don't need reassurance, that you already know. To maintain the connection without forcing it, use these 3 stabilizing tools. First, the anchor gesture. Throughout the day, briefly repeat the physical gesture you chose, not to send a new signal, but to return your body to the same inner frequency. 1 second is enough, while walking, washing your hands, or listening to music. It reminds your nervous system of coherence. Second, the neutral thought. Avoid strong affirmations that your body doesn't fully believe yet. Instead, use this simple phrase, "The signal has been sent. The process is unfolding." This creates no resistance. It keeps the channel clean and open. Third, the breath of openness. Once a day, close your eyes, touch your heart, and take 3 slow breaths. Not to manifest anything, just to remain available. This is the embodied posture of receiving. You've done deep inner work. But there are still common mistakes that can collapse everything if you're not aware of them. And that's what we'll explore next. Now we come to the final and most important layer of this work, protecting what you've activated. Many people can generate a moment of coherence, but very few know how to hold it without collapsing it. This is where maturity, especially psychological maturity, makes all the difference. And this is why this practice resonates so deeply with those who understand Jung. Not as a trend, but as a lived inner discipline. There are 3 common mistakes that quietly block the process after the signal has already been sent. The first mistake is compulsive repetition. Repeating the exercise again and again in the same day is not commitment. It's distrust. It tells the unconscious what I did wasn't enough. The psyche responds not to intensity but to confidence. Jung emphasized that inflation and impatience distort psychic energy. When the ego interferes out of fear, the signal weakens. This practice is meant to be used when your body feels calm and clear, not when the mind is panicking. Do it once, then stop. Let the unconscious do its work. The second mistake is constant monitoring for signs. Checking his messages, watching his online activity, rereading old conversations, or waiting every hour for proof. This behavior pulls you back into lack. It fractures coherence. The moment you start searching externally, you signal internally that you don't trust what you felt. And trust is the medium through which unconscious processes operate. The connection works best when you are quietly centered and outwardly engaged with your own life. The third mistake is talking about it too soon. Sharing the experience to gain reassurance or validation disperses the energy. Jung spoke often about the importance of containment. Psychic material must be held inwardly until it integrates. When you speak too early, you move the experience from the symbolic realm into the social one, where it loses potency. Protect what you've created. Silence is not secrecy, it is incubation. Now there is something deeper happening here that goes beyond influencing another person. This practice is not actually about him. It is about you reclaiming your center. When you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, something fundamental changes in your psyche. Your inner posture shifts from need to authority, and authority in the Jungian sense does not dominate, it radiates. When a person is anchored in themselves, others feel it. Not as pressure, not as demand, but as presence. The unconscious recognizes coherence immediately. Even if he cannot explain why, he may suddenly think of you, feel drawn, or experience a subtle emotional movement. Energy does not require interpretation, it simply registers. This is why Jung insisted that individuation, the process of becoming whole, inevitably changes our relationships. When you align internally, the outer world rearranges itself around that alignment. You no longer ask to be chosen, you choose yourself. And that choice is felt. If nothing appears to happen immediately, do not assume failure. The unconscious does not operate on the ego's timetable. Sometimes the signal lands as a feeling, sometimes as a memory, sometimes as a delayed action. Sometimes it activates a process you never see directly. Your responsibility is not to control the outcome, but to maintain coherence. Return to your body. Return to your breath. Return to the anchor gesture when needed. Live your life. Engage your interests. Let yourself be occupied and present. Paradoxically, this openness is what allows the connection to deepen. And here is the quiet truth many people overlook. Even if no external response ever appears, you have already gained something essential. You have learned how to regulate your inner state. You have experienced self-trust at the level of the body. You have touched a form of inner authority that does not depend on another person's reaction. That is real power. Jung warned that when we project our inner life entirely onto another person, we lose ourselves. This practice reverses that pattern. It brings the energy back home. And from that place, connection becomes a choice, not a craving. So don't wait to be pursued. Don't wait to be confirmed. Each time you choose presence over anxiety, you strengthen your psychic center. And when your center is strong, others respond naturally without effort. If this practice awakens something in you, take a moment to acknowledge it. Not by rushing outward, but by staying with the feeling. Let it integrate. Let it mature. And when you're ready, we'll go even deeper.